Welcome one, welcome all to the Social Good Hour pre-show. You're about to watch episode 9 with Prince Holmes from Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. We'll have him on here in just a minute. As you see, we got 1 minute and 38 seconds to go. We're rethinking the pre-show strategy here on Restream. We got 90 seconds till the show begins. No more fancy countdowns. No more big Chris Strub countdown clocks, all that stuff. No more Ethel. Sorry, Ethel, you're fired. So no more fancy introductions. We're just going to get straight to it here in just over a minute. So while you're watching, while you're tuning in, you can jump in the comments and we can put your comments on the screen. You can see here, thanks to Restream.io, I can put your social comments up on the screen, and you're going to be a big part of the show as well. Again, we got 60 seconds till the show begins. Thank you all for being here. Let me know where you're watching from. Tell me something good. Yeah, R.I.P. Ethel. R.I.P. Ethel indeed. But Chris, I can't wait to hear your comments on the new format. This is Tell Me Something Good right now. Tell me something good in the comments. You got 40 seconds. And once the show begins, we'll start cranking out those good comments coming in from you. Again, 30 seconds till that show starts. I'm ready. This is going to be fun. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. You guys are going to love this guest. He's one of the coolest people I know and just such a hard worker. I can't wait to bring Prince on here in just a minute. He's out there tweeting. He's posting on Instagram. I can see him in the green room too. We got 10 seconds. Hey, it's me, Sarah. Something good. It's a beautiful day in West Virginia. Chris Bryant, there you go. And welcome everybody to the Social Good Hour, episode number 9. My name is Chris Strub. I'm your host, the Giving Day guy here in Greenville, South Carolina, in the Fly the W studio. We got the popper working this week. Let's see. Ooh. Do we have it working? Oh, we'll come back to it. We've got an awesome guest for you today. His name is Prince Holmes from Youth Rebuilding New Orleans down in Louisiana. Can't wait to bring him on. But before we do, just a couple quick reminders about how you can support the show. You can hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You can hit the like button. You can turn that bell on YouTube as well. You can retweet on Twitter. Make sure you tag at Restream.io and let them know that you're a fan of the show. You can add me on LinkedIn and you can watch over there and you can share it to your Instagram story. You can also buy me a new set of party poppers. If you've been watching the whole first season of the Social Good Hour, you know how much of a struggle it's been with these things here. So we'll try again here in a few minutes. Stay tuned as I try and get edition number 9 of the party popper on the move. We start every show with Tell Me Something Good. I've got some of your comments here on the screen. Chris Bryant is coming at us from Connecticut. Again, Sarah is watching from wild, wonderful West Virginia in Charleston. We've got Mark Mason is watching from Cincinnati. PR Christina is down in the Houston area. Yes, we're laughing about the popper. And Chris says his good news is that he's launching his 2021 highlight reel in the next 24 hours. Congratulations. So, if you want to tune in live next Monday, episode 10, we've got another great guest for you. Her name is Kat Murphy-Toms. Just a reminder, we do record this show live, and it's a lot more fun to watch live, but we do appreciate you watching on the replay as well. Before we get to our guest, I want to play a quick video from our friends at Restream. They are the ones that make this show possible week after week. Restream.io is their site, but I really would prefer if you went to restream.teamstrub.com. That is my affiliate link where you can sign up for your free trial of Restream. It makes an enormous difference. So Sarah, Christina, everybody else who's watching, Mark, if you get a couple minutes today, maybe you can even do it while this commercial is playing because you've seen it before. Go to restream.teamstrub.com, sign up. That is how we will ensure that we can keep the Social Good Hour going into another season. And that's right, we're coming up to the end of season 1 of Social Good Hour. Can you believe how time flies? So quick video from our friends at Restream, and then we'll get right to Prince Holmes from Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. That's right. It's Restream that makes the Social Good Hour possible week after week, every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Prince Holmes time. So if you get a chance to go to restream.teamstrub.com, please, 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 in all seriousness, if you want there to continue to be a show, go to restream.teamstrub.com. It makes an enormous difference. Without further ado, let's check out your chat here real quick. Kansas in the house. That's right. We love that 50 states, 100 days flavor today. We've got a great guest back from my trip, which I can't wait to talk to you about in a little bit as well. When is the last day of the show? We've got a 12 episode run with Restream. And so if you really have an opportunity to sign up for your Restream free trial today, that would make an enormous difference. So hopefully if you want there to be an episode 13 and beyond, go to restream.teamstrub.com and jump on it for me, please. All right, now, without further ado, let's bring on the screen the man himself, Mr. Fresh. It's Prince Holmes. There he is. Say, Prince. Look, we're matching today, man.
Yes, indeed,
Prince,
bro. You look nice, bro. You fresh.
I never look as good as you, though, Prince. It's always a pleasure to see you, my friend.
So you're giving me a run for my money today, bro. You're giving me a run for my money.
Prince Holmes is a New Orleans native. He started his journey with Youth Rebuilding New Orleans as one of the youths in the program. He worked his way up to the organization's assistant construction manager, which is when I met him back in 2015, and was promoted to executive director in February of 2017. Youth Rebuilding New Orleans is a nonprofit rebuilding and youth engagement organization founded in 2006 after Hurricane Katrina. YRNO's mission is empowering New Orleans youth to engage in the city's rebuilding process, as well as hosting volunteer groups from all across the country. And you may have seen Youth Rebuilding New Orleans on this incredibly viral clip. Prince, I'm going to play a real quick clip from the show, and then we'll get right to Prince here.
I think you're doing more than fixing houses. You know, it looks like you're doing something that's specifically impacting a lot of kids.
These are skills that's not being offered in high school. In New Orleans, there's not many employment opportunities. Every kid doesn't want to be a servant, want to cook food. Some guys actually want to work with their hands. When I was younger, that's how I built a stronger relationship with my dad, is doing odd jobs around the house. So when I first heard about the organization, it was an awesome opportunity.
In the green room there, smiling as you're watching that clip, Prince. That was your viral moment. 6 million views on that video on Facebook alone with Mike Rowe. A lot of people hearing that story of Youth Rebuilding New Orleans and the story of Prince Holmes. And now here we are today. Maybe we'll get another 6 million views on this show too.
Let's shoot for it, baby. Let's shoot for it.
We're aiming for it. So Prince, I want to start by asking you about Katrina, right? So in our lifetimes, there are certain events that we remember forever and shape our growth. For me, growing up as a New Yorker, I would say that moment for me was 9/11. In August 2005, Katrina struck New Orleans, and it seemed to change the city forever. Would you say that Katrina was a defining moment in your life?
Defining moment in my life, to be honest, at the time, I wouldn't say it was, because I was just 12 years old. I had just started my 7th grade year in middle school. And I was literally there for only a week. And we got the news over the weekend that a storm was coming by. And it was pretty common to have hurricanes come. We would generally ride them out. It was actually a way that our family would connect, and actually the community. At worst, maybe the lights would go out. Everyone would be outside, playing football, just having a good old time. And at night, we would basically light candles. Everyone would be in one room playing board games and whatnot. So we just wait to fellowship and connect. Unfortunately, at the time, we didn't know that it was going to be much different. It was basically like a cry wolf story. So a lot of people were very unprepared. Like I said, we generally ride those storms out, but my father got a call from my aunt, it was a different type of call. Like, this is going to be the one. We need to head out. We need to head out. People have to understand this storm it came up over us out of the blue. So you didn't have money saved up. You didn't, if you were living paycheck to paycheck, you just couldn't move. So we headed out. We headed to Tennessee. It was about a 16-hour trip. It was generally about 8 hours. We were with our family, so it was pretty cool as a 12-year-old. So no more school for another 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, being with my cousins and the whole nine. But now as an adult, I see things totally different. I started to see where my parents were coming from, just their perspective. Now that I own a home, now that we are working on homes here at Youth Rebuilding New Orleans, we have an office. So every time there's a storm, I clench up. I'm scared because now we have a lot to lose. And if, like I said, if you don't have your funds saved up, for the emergency funds saved up, it can be a real nightmare. So yeah, it definitely changed my life. Well, I see that it changed my life a lot because my relationship with my grandmother was diminished. My relationship with cousins that I grew up with and would see every weekend was diminished. I didn't see my cousins until I was 16. My grandmother, she was forced to move to Tennessee, and she grew up in New Orleans. That's all she ever knew. She never left New Orleans. So until she passed, I may have saw her 4 times when I would see her every weekend. So yeah, that definitely impacted my life because I'm a grandma's boy. I have that tatted on my side. I'm a grandma's boy.
I believe it. I'm a grandma's boy too.
Yeah.
Prince, let's talk a little bit about New Orleans, and I'm actually going to I can put a map up on the screen here. You know, that certain parts of the city sometimes are affected differently by these storms, especially Katrina. And when you and I met back in the summer of 2015, it was Memorial Day weekend, 2015. I didn't know much about the idea of different wards in New Orleans. Can you explain for someone outside of Louisiana, you know, the ward system? And I'll put up this map here. Maybe you can talk a little bit about it while it's kind of over us.
Yeah, for sure. So I would, I guess, equate it to like counties in different cities. So basically, like as you can see, I'm from the 15th ward. We call it the 1.5. I'm from Algiers. We don't say 1.5, but if you're from here, you know that. Looking at this map, I didn't even know there was a first ward, to be honest. We are currently working in the 9th ward. The 9th ward was actually hit the hardest during Hurricane Katrina. So we take great pride in actually rebuilding that neighborhood now.
And especially the lower 9th.
Yeah, the lower 9th ward, yeah, for sure.
Which is, yeah, as we look at the map, it's actually closer to the river there on the southern part, closer to the 15th than closer to Lake Pontchartrain, right?
Yeah, but if you look at it, you have to go all the way around the city to get to the 9th ward from Algiers, from the 15th ward, essentially. You can catch a ferry, but it doesn't do its just due. So yeah, basically counties to you all who live in other states.
And most of the work that YRNO has done over the last, 15, 16 years has been in that 9th ward.
Not necessarily. So we actually just shift our focus to acquiring property in the lower 9th ward and helping out that neighborhood specifically because the city's not doing anything. But in the past, we've worked in areas that were basically affected by blight. So it didn't matter. It was, as long as it was Orleans Parish, we were helping out. So we worked in the 6th ward. We just finished working in the 6th ward 2 years ago. We worked in Mid City, which is the 17th, it's 13th. Yeah, a bit all over. And my mistake on mistaking the wards. All my New Orleanians don't get at me for that.
I think
you get kind of tricky. You get kind of tricky.
Your friend Cortland here says, shout out to the 7th ward. I'm sure there's a lot of pride across all the different wards
yes,
there.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. That's why you have to be very conscious when you speak about wards and the location, because that's a big no-no when you mess up.
Just like today's Monday, it's red beans and rice day. That's the other thing you can't mess up in New Orleans. Right?
Exactly, bro.
I've learned that lesson too.
I had to stay away from the red beans and rice. I was gaining too much weight.
It is Monday though. I should have got some ready here. My friend Christina says Houston is divided into wards in parts of the city too. She says our Houston hearts go out to New Orleans. It's so unexpected to have to rebuild. So let me pivot forward to that question then. YRNO over the years, of course, you talked about some of the different wards and some of the different areas that you guys have worked in, but looking back through your social media and everything, I mean, I've seen you guys doing work in Baton Rouge. And of course, this hurricane season tends to hit sometimes all across that Gulf Coast area. I mean, these hurricanes, it's kind of a roll of the dice sometimes if it's going to hit New Orleans or somewhere else, right?
Yeah, bro, it's a real gamble, unfortunately. But like, we take great pride in doing exactly what we did and how we started, and hopefully that encourages other young people and communities to come together as a whole. So yeah, we helped out Baton Rouge when it was just a flood. It wasn't even a hurricane. It was just a crazy flood that took over and affected a lot of families. We worked in Breakaway. We worked in Lake Charles. We worked all over. In 2017, a tornado hit New Orleans East. So this was the second time in, I guess, 12 years where a neighborhood was impacted by natural disaster. You can't really make these things up. All you can really do is react. And I pride my team and the community just being willing to drop everything to help the neighbor. You don't see that a lot, especially experiencing everything last year. And this is a cool reminder that we have, that foundation set in place, and we're just using our platform to encourage others to do the same.
It's been pretty incredible watching you guys kind of adapt. And like I mentioned, you and I go back to 2015, and I don't think either one of us could have imagined, all the different types of things that have happened, in New Orleans since then. It's been really interesting to watch how adaptable you guys are. Before I get to my next question, I want to remind everybody who's watching, if you have questions for Prince, put them in the comments. You can see that thanks to the magic of Restream, your comments appear right on the screen as you post them, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or Twitch. And then I can call out and put up your comments individually at the bottom of the screen as well. So, I got a lot to talk about here with Prince, but if you have questions, let us know as well. So Prince, let me pivot to that then. Can you talk mostly about the model of what YRNO does, and also kind of what the last year has looked like? Because when I came and worked with you, and we had, students come in and working on a house and helping clearing stuff out and everything. I feel like the last year must have been a lot different. Now that we're in 2021, are you getting back to having volunteers come out, or what does it look like in the last year?
Yeah, for sure. So the model, just to get to that question, the model is basically we hire local young people who are interested in construction. So we teach basic construction, job readiness, financial literacy, mental health, social justice as a whole, investing, anything that young people want to learn that they feel that they can actually use in life. Basically, those life skills that's not being taught in high school. So we hire local youth. We actually acquire blighted properties. Either we are gifted them or we purchase them. So the reason why we address blighted homes, because blight has taken over New Orleans, of course, after Hurricane Katrina. And when there's blight in the neighborhood, you have to think about the young people who grew up in that neighborhood. Typically, when there's a blight in the neighborhood, there's more crime. There's negative influences all around you. So you actually consume everything that you see. You become a product of your environment. So our goal is to actually rebuild those homes with those young people. So now you're taking more pride into your neighborhood, but you're also calling out those adults. So, yeah, we're doing this. We're getting up every day and doing this. Why can't you? Where's the mayor? Where's the city? Why is it us just doing these things? And so we mobilize these young people. Then we sell those homes. We rebuild those homes. We have volunteers coming from all around the world. Our local young people then supervise those volunteers. So we're teaching leadership skills as well. And then we ultimately sell those homes back to educators, first responders. Uh, just recently, a healthcare worker at 80% of the market value. I apologize for the siren in the background.
It's okay. It happens. Yeah, I saw that today. You just closed on a house with a healthcare worker. 80%. Congratulations. That's awesome. And that's kind of been the model. Again, we spoke about this, and I talked to our buddy Jack when I was down there with YRNO back in 2015. The model of selling these homes back to these educators and now healthcare workers at that discounted rate to try and keep moving that community forward.
Yeah, exactly. And just the thought of if you have educators, healthcare workers, these awesome influential positions as neighbors, like that changes the perspective. Now you become a product of your environment. So now you have motivation. Or I have a police officer as a neighbor. I have an educator as a neighbor. It sounds corny, but it actually plays a lot into the psyche, into the subconscious.
Let me ask you about about your journey. Again, you started as in the program and kind of worked
as a volunteer. So I actually started as a volunteer. Senior year in high school, needed some service hours, found out about the organization. It was great. Growing up, as you saw in the video, I had projects around the house with my pops. Shout out to my pops, a big influential figure in my life. There's actually my pops right here. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but here or less. So they're doing those projects around the house. I just always had a nick for building things. At the time, I had met the previous director, who was 22 at the time, and he showed me 3 houses. And when I actually was in the summer program, he showed me 3 houses that they were working on. I was like, "This is pretty impressive." They're 22 and you're running this big organization. To me at the time, it seemed like a big organization. Working on 3 properties. That's pretty impressive. If I take this serious, I could be in the same position. So when I was 23, I was actually promoted to executive director. So I worked my way up the ladder. It was pretty cool. So I volunteered. Then I was hired on as a site supervisor, and I worked my way up to assistant construction manager, all while, of course, going to SUNO, Southern New Orleans, pursuing my criminal justice degree. That's the story. So I have a pretty cool and a unique perspective as executive director, actually working at every phase of the organization. So I know where we need tweaks. I know what works, what doesn't. And I'm often reminded, because I have young people who are doing, great things, and are constantly reminding me. So I have a pretty cool niche of being able to work in the office and do the boring work, but that actually gets the bills paid. And if things get too slow, I can go out on the site and get dirty, like I was actually earlier today.
Yeah, Prince called me this morning. He's like, "I got to go get my hands dirty before we sit down for the video." He couldn't do this all day long. He's got to get out there and work. Talk to me real quick about just the sense of pride that you feel having grown from that position when you get to meet with some of these kids. I'm sure you see some of yourself and your own story in a lot of these youths that you get to work with.
Yeah, for sure. So I've always been a very self-driven person, and I contribute that to my parents. Just hard work, dedication, it pays off. I never wanted to have a boss as well, but I understood in order to become the ultimate leader and to become your own boss, you need to be able to follow directions properly. So I used to always play all of my supervisors close, always asking questions, being that pest, to be honest, being that 17-year-old. So why does this do this? Why go right when there's an option to go left? Just one of those guys. So I always just educate myself. And I see a lot of those same characteristics in a lot of the young people who work here. I'm blessed to be in this position, and a lot of my young people, we are a very diverse nonprofit organization, but a lot of my young people do look like me, and that's huge. Because they see their self in me. They know that one day that they can be an entrepreneur. They can be the executive director of Youth Rebuilding New Orleans or whatever organization they want to create. And I wholeheartedly, full-fledged support them, doing that. So I'm big on entrepreneurship, of course. Here at the organization, we do teach you how to become job ready. But another component I took to the next level is making sure that, follow your dreams. In this generation, you don't want to work for people. We are very creative people. Why, work for others? Nothing wrong with that, but it's not for everyone.
I think that ambition comes across. It's one reason why I got a chance to meet a lot of people across the country through the trip here. And of course, Prince is featured in 50 States, 100 Days, the book. And
good book. Good book.
I appreciate that, man. I got to put the website up on the screen here while you say it. 50states100days.com is where you can get your copy of the book. Prince, so let's talk about the role of social media in spreading the word about Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. Again, you're working with all these different youths, all these entrepreneurial, ambitious youths who have their own dreams and everything. And everybody loves sharing their work with YRNO. You've been a very visible face, on Snapchat, on Instagram, on these different channels. How important has it been? And do you get groups and students coming to you because of what they've seen on social media over the years?
Yeah, yes, indeed, for sure. I need to give you a shout out, bro, because you actually put me on Snapchat at the time. I wasn't into, just documenting my life. I was a very private guy, still am, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I had, you changed my perspective, because initially, is it genuine that when you are doing good things, I guess you're helping out the community, and then you have a camera right after to show like, yo, I did this to make sure that people know that you're doing good things. So I was kind of conflicted, but after our conversation, just document the process. Document the process is very important, and it can inspire others as well. So it's not just about me. Maybe I can inspire someone who can't get down here to New Orleans and rebuild the neighborhood, but they're in Inglewood, California, and they want to do the same thing. But to answer your question, we have had plenty of volunteers reach out because of what they've seen on our Instagram channel, on all of our social media platforms. Actually, someone reached out 2 weeks ago to write a grant on our behalf because what she saw, what we were doing in New Orleans on Instagram. So yeah, shout out to the Life Foundation.
Well, I got your variety of channels down there at the bottom of the screen. And I just want to take a second here on the show here, Prince, to reiterate that my experience with YRNO back, it was Memorial Day weekend, 2015. It really opened my eyes, and it changed my perspective a lot, getting a chance to meet you and Jack, and more importantly, all those kids that we had a chance to work with that day. I'll always remember that day. And I've done probably hundreds of interviews about 50 States, 100 Days. And I will always, always remember that trip. You might even remember, look what I pulled out of the closet here. I wore these bright yellow pants to the construction site. I think Prince was like, what the hell is this guy doing here?
Guy, bro?
But I still got the pants here as a reminder. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm still living the bachelor life here 6 years later. Haven't ditched the yellow pants. But
but to that point, I'm actually creating a position around social media because it's just that important. And of course, with in the midst of the pandemic, not being able to, host volunteers regularly like we did once before, is very important that we continue to, reach our young people, reach our supporters, have them see what we're doing, although they can't be here with us.
So talk to me a little bit more about that. Like, this is usually, again, you've been with the organization for so long, that March, and even looking back at your Instagram, March, again, I know we're doing Merch Madness, which I'll ask you about in a minute now too, but March is typically like a very, very busy time of year for YRNO. With different volunteers coming in from spring break, students coming in. Like, are you thinking about trying to get students back in to volunteer, get back into houses, or what does that look like now in 2021?
Yeah. So for those who don't know, we generally host around 1,500 volunteers a year. Uh, from I guess August was the first time we accepted a family, a group who was a family, maybe about 4 people. We've had, I think, 80 volunteers since from August to today. Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge drop
I
off.
was going to say it's a lot less than usual.
Yes, indeed. And we miss that energy. We feed off of our volunteers. So, just learning stories, just people, people, people. And like at the end of the week, just finding that we have so many things in common, although we look totally different, we speak a different way. Uh, we have so many things in common. So, like, that's the awesome part about just having volunteers. And a lot of our volunteers come down are very genuine, which we definitely salute. But moving forward, we have so there's a blessing in disguise with all of this. We actually became a more focused organization with the downtime. We had volunteers, like I said, year round. Of course, in March, we call it the March Madness because we literally have a group every day from March 1st to April 30th. Because spring break,
Yeah.
colleges come down on alternative trips, uh, and like it's the best time. We're working with different groups every week. Of course, unfortunately, like now it just can't happen. But we are a very focused organization. We actually had a lot of time. We had about 2 months just to brainstorm on how ideas, how to scale the organization. How can we put out a better product? Um, so we actually are starting our first new build just from ideas that the team come up with, and that actually helps us cut costs because, of course, volunteers did help out with a lot of revenue, including like the bunkhouse where I'm at today. A lot of our groups would come down and would stay at our bunkhouse that sleeps up to 36 volunteers, which was pretty. It was a moneymaker for sure. Um,
I've
so
been
just
in the bunkhouse. It's nice.
how to be a very sustainable organization. How can we put up a sustainable product that we can scale and can just be great, just be fresh. I'm getting tongue twisted right here, but yeah, that's
So let's talk about it then. I mean, you see, we both got our matching. We got our matching outfits on.
yes indeed.
I got to try and stay fresh. Calling
Yes,
it
indeed.
calling
So,
it merch madness this year. I'm gonna put the site up here, and I want you to talk about how people can support. I know that there's a lot of people out there. Again, when you're talking 2,500, 3,000 volunteers a year, you're reaching a lot of young adults now too, and young professionals who've
yes,
had experience with YRNO over the years. And I think this Merch Madness opportunity, and I've got the site here down below, yrnostore.com, is a great opportunity for people to show their support for YRNO at a time when their typical experience that they may have had in the past isn't really possible.
yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, volunteers want to support all the time, and shout out, like I said, shout out to the volunteers. They had been asking for hoodies for the longest. We just wanted to test things out, of course. So we actually created the YRNO hoodie, so the white hoodie that you and I both have on that we rock.
I'm going to turn around so people could see it. You keep talking.
So fresh, yes, indeed. Turn around, show the back of that bad boy. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so yeah, it's simple and plain, but you have your whole New Orleans flavor. And of course, the YRNO hat is actually a snap daddy, a strap back, shall I say? Keep it fresh. Actually designed by me. Very simple, but it gets the job done. We actually have some sunglasses, t-shirts. We actually have a couple of new designs that'll be dropping real soon. So each week in March, we actually had a special promo code going on that we've been sending out on particular deals that we have going on. So definitely check out the website if you guys want to support. This is a great time to get some merch at a discounted rate. And it supports the organization. So if you can't come down and physically help, you actually can support by rocking some YRNO gear in your city. And the more that we see, more that people see the YRNO logo, they do research, they find out how they can't get involved or volunteer in the near future. And it works hand in hand. And like I said, the more you learn about YRNO, the more it can inspire you to make change in your community. Because, like, of course, New Orleans, we love all of the help, but it's more importantly what you are doing in your own backyard at the end of the day.
My friend Mark in Cincinnati. I don't know if you sold any merch to Cincinnati yet, but we're going to make it happen here during the show here.
Yes, yeah, for sure, for sure.
He says, great looking merch. I'm checking out the store now. Mark, I can tell you from experience, man, this nonprofit is the real deal. And if you've read 50 States, 100 Days, if you've seen the film, you know how strongly I feel. When I knew I was getting a live show, I called Prince right away and said, we got to get you on the show, man. This guy is just, he's the coolest guy, like seriously. And just, he's a social media star. My dad is also watching now. He says,
I wouldn't say that.
well, look, I think 6 million people on Facebook, Prince, say otherwise. I've got another clip here to show from this episode. I'm going to ask you another question about your appearance here with Mike Rowe. So I'm going to show a second clip here, and then we'll get another question for you.
You're Prince.
I'm Prince. How you doing?
I'm Mike.
How you doing? Nice to meet you, Mike.
I feel like we're interrupting your thing. Can I come up and say hello real quick?
Yeah, definitely. Why? But you had to bust a move if you do so.
Bust a move.
You had to bust a move.
I don't think I haven't busted a move in a long time.
Yeah, you actually came and we actually introducing ourselves, but you had to bust a move like it's just natural, like that's just a part of the organization.
Can somebody give me an example?
Yeah.
Good morning, my name Earl, site supervisor, and I'm gonna bust my moves right.
Good morning, Earl.
Good morning, Earl. All right, got it. My name's Mike, and my move looks something like this. Bang.
Oh, man.
Good morning, Mike.
That's what I'm talking about.
I see you.
Well, Prince, 6 million people have seen that video on Facebook with Mike Rowe. What was that experience like, getting a chance to meet Mike? And then obviously, I don't want to ruin sort of the whole show. Like, something pretty special happened at the end of the show, so you'll have to check it out if you want to know what that was. But what was that experience like with Mike and his team coming down and filming the show for a couple days?
So the actual filming of the show, it was a lot. It was very Hollywood for me. I'm very, meat and bones. Let's get down to the work. It was very Hollywood. Yeah, it was very Hollywood, but it was for a good cause. So, I was willing to stick it out for the team.
You thought I was Hollywood, and all I did was walk in and hand you a phone like, hey, let's get you on Snapchat for a minute.
This was next level. This was next level.
There were like camera crews and trucks and all that stuff. But
yeah, yes, indeed. A disclaimer, I've never watched the episode. So when you see me bite my nail in the background, like I hate watching myself on anything. And I just let people, give me their opinion on what they saw. But I've never watched that episode till this day.
It's hard to Regine says fresh with 5 exclamation points. Very fresh. It's a great episode. I watched it again this afternoon in preparation for the show, and I was in tears. I mean, it's really beautifully well done. And as you saw, Mike Rowe and his team also took care of one of your friends in New Orleans as well, in addition to the contribution that they made to YRNO, which was really special. But it's really great. I'll put the URL up there on the screen one more time. I made a little short URL. It's is.gd/YRNO, all caps, capital video. It's a 23-minute video. I wish I could show the whole thing, but I'd get DCMA'd here in a minute.
It was great publicity. Supporters came along with it. It was, for sure.
So, but as you said before, again, maybe it's a little Hollywood for Prince, but it had to have been a great bit of exposure. I'm sure the phone was ringing, you were getting emails and stuff after the show was on the air. Did it bring in additional student groups? Did it bring in additional resources? Like what when you go viral on Facebook like that, what happens afterwards? Yeah,
so a bunch of volunteers, a bunch of people wanted to volunteer and work on the house that they saw featured in the episode.
That specific house, yeah,
that specific house. A lot of local nonprofits definitely wanted to partner after they actually found out about the organization, which is weird when you. This happens to me all the time when I'm going to a convention out of town. I learn about a nonprofit in New Orleans when I'm out of town. But when we are in the city, like we never cross paths and like learn about each other. So it's pretty weird how that works. But a lot of people found out about, a lot of organizations and people found out about the organization from the show. It's like I said, the exposure was everything. The exposure was great. And, you know, I can't thank them enough for even acknowledging us. Like being acknowledged, like that's what everyone wants. Every kid, every man, every woman. You want to be acknowledged at the end of the day for the work that you do. Of course, when it's genuine and it's coming in from the heart, but you always want to be acknowledged for the great things that you are doing.
Well, Prince, I know that even doing this little show here, we might hit 4 million views on Facebook, but I know that even this probably feels a little Hollywood for you because you're not the sort of guy that likes to step into the spotlight. But just as one of the tens of thousands of volunteers who have come through YRNO over the last 15 years, thank you for what you do. Seriously, like I've gotten a chance to run into you a couple times in New Orleans because, you know, I'm always making a pilgrimage down to New Orleans. It's such a great city to visit. And I'm trying to figure out now how I can get down there this year as well. And it's always great to see you and get a chance to spend a little time with you. And I know that YRNO has greatly benefited from all of the time and energy and thought that you've put into the organization. So just accept it this time. Thank you, man. You've really done.
I appreciate it. I must say something though. I have to give credit to the team. See, John Coyle, Regine Barry, Colin Scholler, Errol Johnson, Maggie Daly, America Lennox. I'm going back now, but like it's a team effort. Like, yeah, I'm the one that everyone sees, but this is a team effort. But most importantly, I need to give the special shout out to Bob Whitman, our board president. Very supportive guy. He actually started Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. He provided the resources. He provided the platform to allow young people just to come together and, you know, make change and clean up these neighborhoods. He never takes the spotlight, but he is the one who actually pushed everything. So I definitely need to make sure that everybody know that, because you never hear about Bob Whitman, but it's probably one of the greatest men I ever met. And that's huge.
Bob makes a brief appearance in the show on Facebook as well. And Mike actually says Bob did not want to be on camera, and you can see him like running away. And of course they get him to come over. That's what the pros do. But yeah, man, you do have a great team. I've had a chance to meet some of them as well. And thank you to everyone at YRNO, for welcoming the weird guy in the yellow t-shirt in a few years ago as well. I know it was a strange value proposition when I called, but hopefully it's been worth it. And it's been great to have built this friendship with you over the years, Prince.
Definitely.
And it's so cool to get to see what you've been up to. And I'm really proud of you. So we got a couple quick recurring segments here before we start to run out of time. We play a game every week called I See That IG, where I pull up a picture from your Instagram and I ask you to tell the backstory. Now, your Instagram is private, so I didn't pull something from your Instagram, but I pulled something from I know better. This is episode 9. I've learned my lessons. But I did, but I did pull something from the YRNO Instagram, and I know you were there. So we'll ask you to tell the backstory of this image here. We'll see if you can remember. You've had so many opportunities over the last years. So do you remember the story behind this picture, Prince?
I was definitely busting a move.
Busting a move.
I was busting a move. Yes, indeed. I'm not sure which move I was busting, but I think I was actually encouraging everyone to be fresh. And basically being fresh just means to stay confident, remain authentic, have fun with everything that you do. If you have fun with it, if you have fun when you're working, it's not considered work at the end of the day. And just being authentic, there's only one you. We don't need a bunch of copycats in the world. Just be you, and someone is going to resonate. Someone's going to appreciate you, and I'm just a living testament. Like that's it. That's what
I got to tell you, I love how, and you can see it in this picture, you know, when you guys do get together with all the volunteers and everything, you get the group and everyone introduces themselves. You saw that in the clip with Mike and you,
yeah.
I mean, that could have been anyone walking up there and you were like, well, you come up, but you got to bust a move. Right. And I had the same experience with you guys where, you know, before we get started, before you go into the house and everything, everyone lines up around in a circle, introduces themselves, and you just really invite everybody to be yourself. So it's a very comfortable environment.
Southern hospitality, like we pride ourselves on that. Southern hospitality.
$1,000,000%. $1,000,000%. Prince, we're gonna play another quick game called Freeze Frame before I forget to do it. So Freeze Frame is we will pose so that the people who are watching can take a quick screenshot. Usually I have to ask and try and figure out what a good pose would be, but I feel like I know what we need to put up when we play Freeze Frame here. Can you explain as we put it up kind of what this signal means and what this represents to you?
Yeah, so I just explained it, freshness, just being fresh at the end of the day. So growing up, my homeboys and I, we run the city. We would back and forth. Everybody had their certain signs they would throw up. And of course, me being authentic, I wanted to create a sign that no one else was throwing up, because everyone threw up West Side and all of this and that. But it was original to me. I never seen anyone throw it up, so we just kept it high. And you can see in pictures to this day, I still throw it up. And a lot of people, when they see you throwing up signs, they think it's gang related and whatnot. It's not that at all. It's just a sign of positivity. And I understood that I have a platform, and I had a bigger platform. I wouldn't even say a bigger platform, but at the time we had more volunteers. So I have a platform to push this movement. And I have a bunch of universities throwing up my first sign. I see it on their Instagram to this day. So I feel mission complete, mission accomplished.
All right, let's get you up there. We're going to freeze frame. We'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. Prince, that's awesome, man. Hey, in a few weeks, big day in New Orleans. You've probably seen me over the last few years. I work with Giving Days around the country. And there's a big time Giving Day in New Orleans. It's called Give NOLA Day. And I want to give you a chance. I'm going to put your Give NOLA site up here. Can you talk a little bit about why people should donate to YRNO during Give NOLA Day?
To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. If you love working with young people, if you love the concept of young people actually rebuilding their own neighborhood and selling homes to educators, first responders, now healthcare workers, if you love the thought of young people learning life skills that's not being taught in high school, literally, why not? We are an organization, of course, empowering young people, employing young people, teaching young people how to invest, teaching the importance of mental health, especially what we just encountered during the pandemic. Like mental health is a serious thing. Investing being taught how to invest at the age of 16, like that's not to toot my own horn or anything, but from every great, powerful, successful person, they explain that investing is what helped them get there. It's hard for me to talk about myself on why to donate, but it's a no-brainer, to be honest. If you truly support and believe in our mission, yes, it helps, of course, fund the organization, helps us acquire new properties. It helps fund our 5-week paid apprenticeship, summer apprenticeship, where we go over those skills. So it's 5 weeks to hire 20 young people, being paid $10 an hour. We teaching, financial literacy, mental health, public speaking, job readiness, the whole nine. and that all costs money. A lot that we I don't depend much on grants, on of course restricted grants, but donations are everything to us. So yeah, we definitely believe if you put into the community definitely invest back.
Well,
Yeah,
if you're
hope
seeing
that
this
was a
clip,
dope pitch. I believe that was a dope pitch. I'm a big doer. Just
he
do
is a doer.
when he comes. do when he comes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's my job to tell people why people should donate to the nonprofits on the giving days. Right.
Yeah.
So, every year, every Give NOLA day, I got to sign up and make my donation. And I invite you to join me on Give NOLA Day. It's May 4th. So I won't be in New Orleans, unfortunately. I'll be working another giving day in Columbia, but I will set an alarm for myself to make sure I make my donation on Give NOLA Day. If you're looking for somewhere to donate in New Orleans on May 4th, YRNO is the obvious
we are
choice.
looking to raise $15,000. $15,000.
$15,000. We're going to help you get there, Prince, for sure.
And we need a van. So actually, this is a true act. We actually need a van for our summer program. We are big on taking our young people to on field trips as it relates to the topic of that week. We are big on teaching our young people the city. So the meaning behind the different wards, of course, addressing the idea behind gentrification and how New Orleans used to look and what it's becoming. Just educating our young people. But in order to do so, we need to be mobile.
Well, we'll help you get there as much as we can, Prince. And, looking forward to seeing how that all comes together in the future of YRNO. We're running out of time, so we got one last thing. We got a speed round for you. So I got 3 questions for you. What's the single most important tool to have when rebuilding a home?
Woo, good Lord. I think the most important tool.
One tool. I'm giving you one tool.
I would say your brain, but that's too complex. Oh, God damn it. A screw, a drill.
A drill. All right, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Best restaurant in New Orleans.
I have to shout out Neo's Cafe. Neo's.
Who's the NBA MVP this year?
Yeah, they have to stop hating on LeBron, man. Let LeBron do. Let LeBron be great. But I like Dame. But I like Dame too. Dame is, Dame the man.
No love for Joel Embiid, huh?
Nah, bro. He turned it on when he wanted to. I need to see him do it in the playoffs. Of course, the MVP is a regular season award, but I need to see him do it in the playoffs as well. And he's hurt. LeBron as well, so that might give room to James Harden to get it.
You got any hard feelings towards AD for leaving New Orleans?
Not at all.
Entrepreneur, right? Got to do his best for you, right?
What makes money?
What is the last question? What's the one lasting thing that you really want everyone to know about the city of New Orleans?
That we're a very resilient city. You mentioned Hurricane Katrina in the beginning of the episode. If you live in New Orleans, you don't ever hear about Katrina. Like Katrina's not us. We shouldn't be identified solely because of Hurricane Katrina. There's so many other beautiful things about New Orleans. Of course, Southern hospitality, the culture, the people, second lines, the food, Mardi Gras, the New Orleans Saints, everybody love. Community, like vibrant, colorful. It looks like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, I promise. The lingo, like just that's New Orleans for you. If you want to have a good time, if you want to see true, authentic community, this is the place to visit for sure. And
Well,
like I said, once again, shout out to my volunteers, because my volunteers actually helped me learn my own city, because I was stuck in a bubble. There were certain places that I didn't visit and go, but because I had volunteers and they were inquire, it would force me to educate myself on those things so that I would, be able to, enlighten them on.
well, you're lucky you're going to escape without the. I'm not going to quiz you on the map of all the wards because we're out of time.
An epic fail.
Prince Holmes, thank you so much for taking the time today, man. I know you don't love being in the spotlight, but just the work that you and your team do and have done over the years absolutely deserves it all, and then some. And you know me. I'll be back in New Orleans. You'll get a text from me at some point in the next couple weeks, couple months, saying, "Hey, I'll be here these dates," and I'll hit you up. So, Prince, thanks again for taking the time, and we'll see you next time. All right.
I appreciate you, Chris, bro. Awesome interview. I love you.
All right. I miss you, brother. I'll see you soon. All right. That's Prince Holmes, the executive director of Youth Rebuilding New Orleans, and a good friend of mine. We're running out of time here. Let's throw in some closing thoughts. The big reveal. I love how Prince summed everything up there at the end of our conversation, where he really took a moment. Maybe I didn't ask him enough about what makes New Orleans so special. I tend to leave that question for last, but it's true. It's exactly right that New Orleans is all those things that Prince mentioned and more. And when I talk about the big reveal, I also talked a lot about that show with Mike Rowe, where there was that big reveal at the end. Again, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but if you want to check out the whole episode of Returning the Favor with Mike Rowe, I put the short URL up there. But there was a big reveal at the end of the show. And for me, I couldn't stop thinking about the idea of a big reveal this afternoon, and how sometimes life doesn't have a big reveal, that what we're living through, what we're seeing every day is the big reveal. And I feel like 6 years after visiting 50 states in 100 days, the big reveal to me has been these long-lasting friendships that I've had a chance to build with people like Prince, people like Nicole Burdick, and Sarah McDowell, and all these folks around the U.S. who are continuing to do incredible work in their own communities to make the world a better place. To me, every single day is the big reveal. And I'm just so, so grateful for each and every one of you who join me each and every Monday for the Social Good Hour. Really proud of how this show has come together, and most importantly, proud to be able to bring you great, great guests like Prince Holmes, who you'll notice when you build these sort of relationships, that is really what's most rewarding to each of us in the end. My name is Chris Strubb, the Giving Day guy. Very, very grateful to all of you guys who are watching. Cortland is elbow coughing in the comments, and she says, "Thanks for your support, Mark." I didn't get a chance to point out Mark's comment. It says one YRNO bundle coming his way to Cincinnati. And again, I encourage you to go to YRNO store. You can also find the discount code of the day over on their Instagram and give them a follow as well. It's youth_rebuilding_new_Orleans on Instagram. You can check out previous episodes of the show on my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Chris Strubb. You can chat about the show using hashtag Social Good Hour. You can check out all the gear that I use to create the show at www.strubstuff.com. Next week's guest is Kathleen Murphy-Toms. She is the brains behind the digital operation at Giving Tuesday. So I can't wait to introduce you guys to Kat Murphy-Toms. Just a brilliantly influential woman based out of Chicago with an enormous heart. Episode 10 of the Social Good Hour next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Chicago and New Orleans time. And I will see you guys all next week for episode 10 of the Social Good Hour. Oh, wait. Forgot to do this. See you next week. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, we got it. We'll see you Monday.